Hurricane Nate. Path to Gulf Coast shifts west but still go Florida very uncertain. Newly upgraded Tropical Storm Nate continued to dump heavy rain on Central America on Thursday morning as it approached the coast of Nicaragua. But most eyes on the Gulf Coast are trained on the forecast path, which has shifted westward and shows what could be Hurricane Nate making landfall this weekend anywhere from Louisiana to the Florida Panhandle. As of the 7 a.m. CDT advisory from the National Hurricane Center, Tropical Storm Nate was located about 10 miles south of Puerto Cabezas in Nicaragua and was moving northwest at 8 miles per hour. Nate's winds increased to 40 miles per hour. Tropical storm force winds begin at 39 miles per hour. A tropical storm warning remained in effect from Sandy Bay Sirpi in Nicaragua to Punta Castilla in Honduras. A hurricane watch is in effect from Punta Castilla to Rio Lagos in Mexico. The Hurricane Center expects Nate to make landfall later today in northeastern Nicaragua. It will then briefly cross over land and emerge back into the northwestern Caribbean by night, where it could strengthen more. Forecasters said the center will be near the coast of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula by Friday night. Then it enters the Gulf, and then the speculation really ramps up. The track has shifted a good bit to the west overnight. Earlier forecasts had shown the center making landfall close to Panama City, Florida. But as of Thursday morning, the center of the storm is forecast to come ashore near the Mississippi-Alabama border. However, expect that track to shift again. Tropical Storm Nate is still weak and could move near or over land 2 times before it reaches the Gulf Coast, which could alter its path. The storm is expected to move around the western side of an area of high pressure that stretches from near the Bahamas into the central Caribbean. That will keep it moving to the northwest or north-northwest for the next day or two. By Saturday, another ridge is forecast to take shape off the coast of the southeast U.S., which could steer the storm to the north-northwest at a faster pace. It's important to remember that effects from the storm could be felt far from where the center makes landfall, especially on the eastern side. Here's a key point from the Hurricane Center. The system is forecast to strengthen over the Gulf of Mexico and could affect portions of the northern Gulf Coast as a hurricane this weekend, with direct impacts from wind, storm surge, and heavy rainfall. However, it is too early to specify the timing, location, or magnitude of these impacts. Residents along the Gulf Coast from Louisiana through the Florida Panhandle should monitor the progress of this system and heed any advice given by local officials. How will Nate affect Alabama? The National Weather Service in Mobile said rain chances near the coast will begin to increase on Saturday. Heavy rain and isolated tornadoes will be possible well north of the center. In addition, seas will increasingly become rougher over the weekend, along with minor coastal flooding and a high rip current risk. Winds are expected to increase late Saturday night and throughout the day Sunday as the system moves northward and across the area. South Alabama could get 1-3 inches of rain from Nate, with isolated areas getting up to 6 inches. Depending on its track, areas farther north could also get several inches of rain. The track and eventual landfall location may change as the system enters the Gulf and moves northward, the Weather Service said early Thursday. But with all tropical systems, the heavy rainfall, tornado and surge impacts are much higher east of the center, so the entire forecast area could be at risk, especially since the track has been adjusted west. A newly formed tropical depression in the southwestern Caribbean is forecast to strengthen into a hurricane that could impact the U.S. Gulf Coast. The depression, which is currently churning 50 miles south of Puerto Cabezas, Nicaragua, is expected to become Tropical Storm Nate on Thursday, according to the National Hurricane Center. Residents from Louisiana to Florida are being warned to monitor the system as it approaches this weekend. The area is still feeling the effects of Hurricanes Harvey and Irma. The depression could reach hurricane status as early as Saturday while entering the Gulf of Mexico. Its current trajectory has it on track to make landfall somewhere between Mobile, Alabama, and Tallahassee, Florida, on Saturday night or Sunday morning as a weak Category 1 hurricane, with winds of about 75 miles per hour. However, the track, as well as the strength, is subject to change. The tropical depression was approaching Nicaragua on Thursday morning with rain heavy enough to cause mudslides and flash flooding. Up to 30 inches of rain is possible in some locations in Central America, according to the National Weather Service. Amid busy hurricane season, National Weather Service hampered by shortage of meteorologists. The rest of the 2017 hurricane season will be active with more storms to come, no meteorologist says. A hurricane watch had already been issued for Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, including Cancun. So far, the Atlantic has seen 5 major hurricanes, Category 3 or higher, during the 2017 season, 2 short of the record set in 2005 that saw 7 major hurricanes.